everybody. Welcome to Lido Fine Art. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So today's video, or if you're on my Patreon audio recording, I will be doing part 2 of Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, but it will be the demonology analysis. So, if you don't know who Richard Ramirez is and his background, I recommend going to watch or listen to part 1, which is on both my Patreon and uploaded on YouTube, obviously. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. So, how does the Night Stalker, aka Richard Ramirez, how does what he did relate to demonology, right? So I will answer that. Serial killer Richard Ramirez, when finally captured in 1985, claimed to be a Satanist, employing satanic symbols to his look and claiming to know LaVey, adding fuel to the fire of the Satanic Panic, which the Satanic Panic, happened in the 1980s. Okay. So, as you all know, Satan is a devil entity with pretty much a God consciousness. Satan is the head honcho of the hell realm and is the head of devils. Those that share his rank are Lucifer, Leviathan, and Belial. Obviously, they are entities that should not be trifled with, and those who think they can summon them in order to gain control over them and or use them for personal gain are fools, who will undoubtedly live a life of misery here on earth and when they pass away. The malicious entities under Satan, along with Satan himself, aim to torture, murder, rape, steal souls. Yeah. They are evil beings that wreak their havoc in multiple ways. Each devil entity has their own intentions and reasons for what they do. For their victims that are alive on the earth plane, one of the most popular ways that they do what they do is through a haunting and or attachment. Through this method, these malicious demonic entities first infest the home or area and or attach to the person or other living things, such as like pets. It is then through oppression, influence, and then possession where they do the most damage. Infestation refers to the invasion of these malicious entities into one's life through being conjured or summoned, but oftentimes can happen by chance through being at the wrong place at the wrong time, or by just being awakened. Examples of how demonic entities infest include, but are not limited to, Ouija boards, witchcraft, Wicca, demon worship, occult practices, seance rituals, cursed items and objects, paranormal investigations, alcohol or drug use, Satanism, demonology, just learning about them, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah. So, oppression is the next step. This is the beginning phase where they start to wear a person down, but it's also technically phase 2. But yeah, they start to wear a person down through fear tactics to get them to believe wholeheartedly that they are not worth saving. By aiding to the production of negative emotions, demonic entities are then able to feed on them as a source of energy. The depletion of energy simultaneously wears the victim down, not only health-wise, but through their free will, too. The ultimate goal is to wear down their free will, because that is the only thing standing in the demon's way for a successful possession. Examples of oppression include knocks, a lot of times in threes, nightmares, daymares, bug infestations, electronic manipulation, sounds or voices, various forms of assault, moving objects, flocking birds, health issues, fires, floods, house damage, nasty smells, strange animal behavior, finding blood or other weird substances, levitation, etc. Through stage 3, aka influence, the entity begins to manipulate a person's behavior through the encouragement of desires and actions that the victim does not normally participate in, getting them to say and do things outside of their character. Typically, the influence behavior does not last very long and comes in bouts and fits. Examples include fits of anger or rage, injurious acts towards themselves or others, restlessness, and the inability to sleep, daydreaming, staring off into space, trances, sleepwalking, etc. This is almost like a test phase to see how influential the target is and if they are good candidates for possession. Then you have the final stage, possession. It is the most dangerous stage a person can suffer. The living person has been worn down so much that they willfully give into the entity and allows them to move into their physical space. During possession, the person no longer has control of their body or mind. Examples of behaviors of a possessed person include, and are not limited to, violent behavior, vile language, especially if they were never known to speak that way, apathy, hate towards religion or love, superhuman strength, levitation, rotten smells, sudden psychic abilities, facial changes, self-harming, suffer a multitude of wounds, creepy movements like crawling up a wall or doing that backwards crab walk situation. It's creepy as fuck. Trances and abnormal behavior, etc. Alright, so Richard Ramirez was the perfect candidate for demonic influence. Why? Through various forms of trauma and exposure to violence as a kid from abuse, he developed a drug addiction to multiple drugs, conduct disorder, and apathy. Around sometimes he turned to the Satanism situation, which if you watch part 1, it gives you a rough estimate as to when. And he took his petty crimes even further. In the name of Satan, he tortured... Wow. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like losing my voice. But yeah, in the name of Satan, he tortured, raped, and murdered his victims. Demons have an affinity to violent acts because that is their nature. Now, I'm going to go off on a quick tangent. I know there are some Satanists that might watch this video and they're all going to be about like, oh, demons, you know, the whole Greek thing, daemon, and they weren't technically, you know, evil, they were just misunderstood, and yada, yada, yada. Listen, I get it, I get where you're coming from, but if you personally do not experience these entities, right? Because a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in a devil or God or whatever, or demons. That you just do the philosophical belief system. Cool, you do you, whatever. But don't be coming on my channel and, you know, trying to give me a history lesson. Because, to be honest, I don't give a flying fuck what you have to say. Because until you, you know, until you experience them yourself, to be honest, you can throw at me all the facts you want. Well, I shouldn't say facts, because I should just say more accusations, because until you deal with them personally, like I do a lot, I deal with them a lot and experience their violence and their cruel behavior and everything, yeah. So don't be telling me what they really are and what they're not when you don't experience them yourself. So yeah, that is my quick little rant there. And if you don't like it, get the fuck off my channel. Thank you. Anyway, back to the notes here. So, demons have an affinity to violent acts because that is their nature, which is why they have a tendency to get their target to act in violent ways. Being that Ramirez already had developed apathy, it was easy for the demon to influence him a step further. Normally, when there are cases similar to this, where the criminal had a past of abuse, exposure to violence, and drug use, a lot of times their actions are a result of their environment when they were young and not demonically influenced at all. Sometimes people are just born evil and become demonized because that was their path. Sometimes there is not a demon or demonic element at all. Then you have those that become a product of their environment, where apathy and violence are learned through continuous exposure to violence and trauma that can be harnessed by malicious entities. Or not harnessed at all. Depends on the scenario there. Oftentimes, though, it will be harnessed by them because it is literally the perfect opportunity for them. Now, obviously, I am not saying that all serial killers and all criminals are influenced by demons. No, I am not saying that at all. Most of it, pretty much all of it, there is a psychological element going on. So for Richard Ramirez, hell yeah, it started psychological because he developed all those, pretty much, he developed the apathy, the violence, and all those bad behaviors from years of, abuse from his father, being exposed to violence because, his cousin Miguel killed his wife in front of him, the sharing of the photos from his cousin of him mutilating and torturing those Vietnamese women. So yeah, that's gonna fuck a person up. That, there's no doubt in my mind. But what I am saying, and this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, and this is just my theory, okay, that because the whole Satanism thing, I just think while it started off with, psychological disorders and abuse and all that shit, obviously, he wasn't demonized straight from the get-go, or he could have been, but I don't think he was. I think, yeah, he was just a product of his environment. But let me keep going. So what makes me believe he had become a target for demonic influence is the fact that he turned to Satanism. When you worship a demonic entity, you are opening yourself up to become a victim of that entity. In this case, the person is literally inviting that entity along with all of its minions and legions into their life as they worship it. For an X amount of time, it may make all of your wishes come true until, that entity turns its back on you. A person could go months, years, or even their entire lifetime without suffering any consequences. However, the second you die, you are fucked. You become their plaything, where they torture, rape, and steal your soul for all of eternity. And they're just going to keep cycling it over and over and over again because that's what they do. They can even make you die faster so they can get what they want faster. A lot of times, the demon will whip up a contract with conditions that one must follow in order to get what they want. It is my firm belief that the demon pulling the strings used this method to get Ramirez to do its bidding. Now, obviously, we don't know what Ramirez wanted in return. A lot of things people wish for is money, fame, to never grow old, stuff like that. But we don't know what he wanted. I mean, only he knows what he only he knows what he wanted. But yeah, who really knows though? I mean, this is just a theory. Like, none of us were there following his every move. So yeah, that is my demonology theory for Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker. And there were some things I also wanted to talk about, but again, my voice is going in and out. So I'm sorry if it sounds crackly and like I smoked like 8 packs of cigarettes. I'm not a smoker, but it sounds like I am. But yeah, so demons, yeah. There is no such thing as a good demon. Okay? Yeah. Even though others will argue that, especially some Satanists. But yeah, I'm not here to argue with you. Okay? This is for those who follow me, who have a similar belief system as me. Yeah. This isn't me trying to convert people into my way of thinking. That's not what I do. However, I like to share experiences that may help validate other people that have had similar experiences. Now, the whole contract thing that I mentioned earlier, I can validate that too because I have experienced it myself. Now, if you go back to one of my videos, I believe it's called I Accidentally Sold My Soul to a Demon. In that video, I pretty much give the entire story of what happened on the astral realm when I was ambushed by demons and they made me sign a contract. And in this example, though, for me, what happened was they threatened to kill my loved ones, boyfriend's family, my friends and their family. And if I did not, sign the contract, that they would kill them all. Where if I did sign the contract, they would leave them alone in, replace of my soul when I die. Yeah. No loving being would do that. No loving being would give you an ultimatum, first of all. Second of all, they wouldn't threaten, your loved ones. And so that contract I was forced to sign because what demons are able to do, they can, it's kind of like a mind control situation or like influence, right? They were able to control me to put my thumbprint as my signature on that contract. Now, obviously, I got out of it. I was able to get out of it with the help of, like archangels and whatnot. So I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, and even so, recently, there was this guy, I think he was 19, Satanism, murder. I'm Googling this real quick because I didn't have it up. Okay. So there was this kid who murdered his 2 half-sisters, right? In the name of Satan. And he actually had a contract with all the things that he must do to get, I believe he wanted money. Okay, here it is. Daniel Hussein. Okay, yeah. And I'll even put a link to the news article in here somewhere. So, I'm going to read this article. Okay, this is a good example. So, Daniel Hussein promised to sacrifice women in exchange for winning the lottery. Daniel Hussein had just turned 18 when he launched a ferocious knife attack on strangers. On strangers Biba Henry, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and Nicole Smallman as the sisters celebrated Miss Henry's 46th birthday last summer. What prompted the teenager to commit such a horrific crime? Shortly after 1 BST, I don't know what BST, it's some kind of standard time. On July 1st, 2020, armed police, see, 2020, I thought this was recent, but it's starting to pop up. Okay, so the news article popped up on July 6th, 2021, so like a few days ago. Alright, so, yeah. So armed police smashed the door of an inconspicuous family home in quiet, cool day. Oh, wait, I'm so stupid. Family home in a quiet cul-de-sac. I've never seen it written like that. I was ready to say some freaking foreign word with some, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. In Blackheath, southeast London. Okay, so BST is British Standard Time, I think? Britain's, something like that. Inside, they found a contract that Hussein, now 19, believed he had drawn up with a demon. Yeah, no, that actually happens. In large childish handwriting, he promised to perform a minimum of 6 sacrifices every 6 months for as long as I am free and physically capable. That is in quotations, by the way. The agreement was headed, in quotes, for the mighty king Lucifer. I want to say it's Lucifer, but it's spelled Lucifuge. Rofokale, Rofokle. I mean Rofocale. Yeah. Speech impediment at its best. So I'm guessing this is not for Satan. This is for Lucifer. However, I mean, they kind of work together anyway. So, who according to some satanic cults is the demon in charge of hell's government and treasury. So if you didn't know, in like hell and like demons rank kind of like in military order, and then you have like your kings, your princes, and then your all that stuff. So in exchange, Hussein would win the Mega Millions super jackpot and receive fruitful rewards, including wealth and power. Okay, yeah, so let's say he didn't get caught, right? Let's say he made it, right? And then he gets his money. Well, there's a good chance that the demon, or in this case, Lucifer, who is a fallen angel, not a demon, although we all consider him a devil entity because he had been demonized. But anyway, there would be a good chance that there could be an accident or some health issue that would make him die faster to get his soul, because that's what they do. So at the bottom, Hussein had signed his forename in his own blood. Yeah, there was a space left unsigned for the demon to leave his mark. Yeah, so I'm going to post this picture, but it's hard to read. Can I make it bigger? Alright, it's hard to read his handwriting. So, for the mighty king, I'm just going to say Lucifer because I'm pretty sure that's who it's for. Perform a minimum of 6 sacrifices every 6 months. So you got the 6-6 thing going. As I am free and physically capable. Sacrifice only women. Build a temple for you. And the for you is the demon. Do everything that I have promised. For me. Okay. So this is the for me part. So this is what he wants in return. Win the Mega Millions super jackpot. Receive fruitful rewards in return for the future sacrifices I make to you. The rewards could consist of wealth and power, to never be suspected of any crimes by the police, and also that the police will never know of any crimes that I have done and that I will do. Yeah, that didn't quite work now, did it? And then he signed it at the bottom with his blood, which is just fucking creepy. But, fun fact, you don't have to sign it in blood. I'm pretty sure they'll take anything. Like, for me, it took just a thumbprint. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure they'll get you to do anything and have you sign it anyway in order to, get you. But, yeah. So, that was a little bit of demonology for Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, with a little bit of current events of Daniel Hussein. So yeah, if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, leave them down in the comment section. If you're not reading, but listening to this on Patreon, yeah, don't hesitate to leave any comments or thoughts. But yeah, thank you guys for watching or listening, however you are, doing this. And yeah, thank you guys for everything. Peace out.